Hey folks, Roland Martin here. Well, here I am in eastern shore of Maryland. I'm back in a really nice place. This guy Mike Austin and his son Spike Austin, they come down and fish with me all the time at headwaters. They have a beautiful farm here in Maryland. It's right on the Delaware border, and it's full of bass. And I'm going to start off. I'm just going to show you what's happening. This is about a 10-acre lake right here, and it's pretty shallow out there. And so this is the Redman Spinnerbait by Jimmy Houston. It's the a Fish Lucky series that it's now just a recent addition. Jimmy's been making this spinnerbait for a long time, but when Lucky Strike, who changed their name to Fish Lucky, took it over in this last couple of years, they're now making it again. Indestructible spinnerbait. It's just a great spinnerbait. And so what I'm going to do, I'm going to throw it out there, and it's a little bit deep. I'm going to let it sink to the bottom. I'll let it sink down to the bottom, and then I'm just going to reel it along, and then it's going to let it sink down to the bottom again. And I'm just going to, it's about 4 or 5 feet deep, and I'm counting it down. When I throw it out there, I watch how deep it is. It's only 5 or 6 feet deep. So I'm just going to come out there, and I'm just going to let it sink to the bottom, and just kind of fishing it kind of deep. I'm not real sure of the depth. I might even start by throwing down the edge of the grass. I can come out with I got boots on. I can come out this way and kind of run a spinnerbait down the back. There's one. I got one. Got one on the bank. Yeah, yes, sir. That's a good one. That's a good one, son. Now we're talking. That's the kind of thing we're talking about. Nice, healthy bass. Now, Mike has really been working hard with different biologists and trying to get this thing as a trophy lake. And right now, he just has the regular northern largemouth in it. But his goal is to possibly stock it in the near future with some of the bigger hybrid bass, the F1 generation, and maybe get some really big ones in the process. But anyway, that's a good start. I threw down the bank then. I'm just going to throw it back. And what I'm doing, I got a 12-pound test fluorocarbon line. I'm throwing it right down the bank, and I don't know how far I can go. Oh, another one! I got another one! I got another one! Ooh, son, I like it, son. Woo! Ooh, look at this guy. That's a bigger fish yet. Oh! Okay. Yeah, he's got some nice ones in here. I just see there's a little bit of water coming in right up there. I saw I saw it kind of boil. Hey, that's a good size quality bass. You know, I grew up in Maryland. That's a funny thing. Back years ago when I was just in high school and finally in college, I'd come over here to the eastern shore of Maryland and I'd fish the Transquakin, the Chickamaucomico, the Pocomoke, all these different eastern shore rivers. And right where we are, we're back on the eastern shore again right now. And that's a good quality bass. But this brings back a lot of nostalgia because really I've just had so much fun as a young man. I learned my ABCs of fishing here on the eastern shore of Maryland. And also I fished the western shore as well. There were some reservoirs over there. But these eastern shore areas were my favorite. Okay. I'm gonna move down a little bit farther. There's water coming in. There's a little water deal coming in right there. I'm gonna come right here. Okay, now what we have right up here, if we notice, there's a little bit of a stream flow in. So I'm gonna make a cast just past that, and then come along the top. Oh, there's one. I got one right now. I got one. They're in there. They're feeding on that. They're feeding on that little water coming in. It's just a small one, but you know, there's not much water coming in, and he's built a well. What Mike did, because he wants to get fresh water in here, and if you notice, there's water coming in right there. So I'm throwing past that spot. I'm throwing past the spot, and then I'm reeling it along right there. I don't know how many fish are here, but that was That was 3. Go a little bit further out that way. Huh. I might have caught a few of them. Yeah, there's probably not any left right now. Probably got them all. Throw it out a little farther that way. You know, I don't know if it makes a difference or not, but this lighter line seems to cast better, and it's only a 12-pound fluorocarbon. And I have it on the Pro Series rod. My favorite. It's my 7-something rod. This happens to be a different reel, but anyway, this is a good outfit. Okay. Huh. Now. You never know. Now I'm going to try it down this other way too. And sometimes people make the big mistake. If throwing out in the middle is one thing, or if you throw out in the middle, it's only 2 or 3 feet deep. But quite often they're on the bank, and people that are shore fishing sometimes miss that opportunity to catch fish out on the bank. So I'm going to drop it just to let it sink to the bottom and start reeling it again. Sink to the bottom. Reel again. I'll throw it way back out there and see what happens. Let's see what happens out there in the middle. Real long. Stop it. Just kind of let it sink down. Try different retrieves. You know, it's deep out there in the middle, so you might have to get down deep and slow roll it. Now, you know, people talk about slow roll. What's slow rolling? Well, slow rolling in a spinnerbait is nothing but a slow retrieve, because when it rolls and it's slow, the slower it goes, this blade just kind of rolls along. It just kind of rolls, and you want to keep going slow until, if you go too slow, it just doesn't revolve. But in a real true slow roll, you're going fairly slow with the bait. Let it sink to the bottom. And I can still feel it thump. That's the thing about this big 1 ounce, well, it's not a 1 ounce, it's a 3/8. That's the thing about this 3/8 ounce redman spinnerbait. It has that number 4 Colorado blade, and it makes a real good thump. You can really feel it good. You can really feel it good. Okay, now I'm going to try another kind of deal here. I'm going to try one down this way. Okay. Okay, I turned the camera around, and now I'm looking down this way. And I'm going to wade out just a little teeny bit, and I'm going to throw one right down by that stick. There's a kind of a stick in the water right there. Come across the top of it and drop it right to this stick right there. Woo! It didn't bite it. Huh. Oh well. Okay, on the outside of it. Huh. Now, you never know. But you keep just trying different places. I'm making a fan cast now. I'm 5, 10, 15, about every 15 feet or 10 feet, I'm making a cast, just kind of ease it out there. It's not real deep out there. There's one. I got one. Oh, that's a big one. Ooh, that's a big fish. Look at that. Oh, that's a good one. Son of a gun. Boy, I had a good one. That was my best one. Throw it out there and just reel it down. Yeah, that was my best one. Yeah. You never know. These ponds are, you know, there's a lot of different things now. This isn't the only lure that works. This happens to be a good lure because it's a small bait, has a small profile, and what I like about the redman spinnerbait is it's so compact and heavy, 3/8 of an ounce, that I can throw it a tremendous distance. I can really get a good cast out of it. That's over 100 foot right there. That cast there is just fantastic. And I can just reel it along. I don't know. There's some fish out here. Just takes a little bit of extra effort. Now, there's, you know, you can't really beat a plastic worm. All in all, if I had just one choice of what to use, a plastic worm is great. But the thing about a plastic worm, you can't cover as much water. The thing about a spinnerbait, and this particular spinnerbait, is, you know, I can find where the fish are real quick by making a few casts there, here, and then when I really kind of figured out maybe where they are, the worm might come in really, really well. Okay, that's a long cast, and just kind of work it along. Now there's a lot of slimy algae in here, and in some cases in the back end, it's hard to throw a spinnerbait. You'd have to almost throw a topwater plug like a frog. But see, like right now, I'm in open water. There's no moss on here. But look at this stuff right here on the shoreline. If I go too slow on the shoreline and I drag it along, look what I got. Look what I got. And see, you get that. You get the big old mossy stuff, and that's a blue-green algae that's just real prevalent this time of year. And so you have to either use a topwater plug in this case, or throw to the open water. I'm doing that now. I'm avoiding this algae. I can see it grow, and I can have my polarized glasses on, and I can look and see the clumps of that blue-green algae. So I'm staying away from the algae. You got to, because with the spinnerbait you don't have much choice. But I think I can throw pretty far that way. Let's see what happens. I don't want to let it go down too deep, because it's anyway. You know, a spinnerbait's kind of a reaction bait. What happens with a spinnerbait is the first couple casts that really gets their attention. It's not, you know, you can make them mad. There's a couple reasons why they bite. Of course, they're hungry. And the second reason, you can make them mad just to repeat the cast. But they're also wary. So if they don't hit the first cast, or after 3 or 4 casts to make them angry, they're liable to just kind of spook away. So you have to move a lot. You have to move up and down these shorelines. And you can't make too many casts in the same spot and be successful. You have to kind of work you kind of move along. So I don't have to keep moving my thing along a little bit. Okay, there's some issues out there. I just love fishing these Eastern Shore areas. When I grew up, I didn't have a father that liked to fish. My father was all into sports. He was a really good sportsman, but he didn't fish. So I learned all my fishing techniques with my buddies. Well, ponds were the #1 deal. I'd ride a bicycle from Laurel to this Laurel Lake, and I'd go up to Highlands, all the dairy farms and stuff just north of where I lived. And a lot of times we just walk the shoreline just like this and catch 100 bass a day on some of the little ponds, but they weren't the big bass. But I did catch some 6 and 7 pound bass. In fact, what got me into fishing was when I was in high school. I came over to the the Chickamauga River, and just threw a big old topwater plug in some lily pads one time, and I caught this big, almost 7 pound bass, and I entered it into a little contest, and my little contest won. I won the big bass of the year, so that kind of got me going. So anyway, I entered that almost 7 pound bass into that contest, and that kind of gave me the the first little competition, you might say, in tournament competition, at first little start of tournament competition. Just the fact that I caught a great big bass. And I was only 16 or 17 years old, and boy, that was just a big deal, winning that contest for the year. Big bass of the year. I just saw it. That was something I threw down there pretty far down, and there was a wake that came up. He didn't hit it. I was doing a wake right to the top, and he was there. The fish was there on the wake, but he didn't take it. See him wake it. Oh, he got it now. He's got it. 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 Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Look at this guy. He's a really good one, son. We got a really good one. I don't know how big it is. I saw the wake the other time. This is a way big fish. This is a way. Look at the size of this one. Oh, son, that's what it takes. It takes it. But I saw it. But it was really kind of cool because look at the size of this one. It's really a good bass. It's really a big bass. Really a big one. Really a big one. Oh, look at this guy. Finally got a big trophy bass. Now that's what we're talking about, folks. We're talking about big bass, well over 5 pounds. And that was the deal. I threw it out there and I saw that big wake, and he didn't take it, but he's a really, really beautiful bass. And that's the kind of thing that Mike is trying to grow. He's trying to grow these bass in the 5-pound class. And I'm saying this one here is in the 6-pound class. That's really a good one. So folks, I hope I've showed you a few things about catching these beautiful bass, but that's the kind of bass that you're going to catch on a spinnerbait. Fishing that open water in these ponds in the early springtime. Hey, it can't get much better than this. So folks, I hope I've taught you a few things about how I fish a spinnerbait and how I fish the open water and catching trophy bass as well. So folks, I'm going to let this one go. Hey, I hope hit that likes button. That's a beautiful bass. We'll see you again soon. Thanks for watching.